Fruits Basket the final really decided to one-up its already amazing first episode with an arguably even better one. Episode 2 was a roller coaster of so many different things, but the main point that has everyone talking is Shigure and his bright and cheerful relationship with Akito Soma. They are just arguably perfect for each other. I cannot imagine a more picture-perfect couple. When I dive deep into my mind and picture Adam and Eve, I see Shigure and Akito. The one true ship. Alright, who am I kidding? Their relationship is pretty freaking bad. It is just a mess of toxicity. So today I really wanted to hone in on this relationship and give my take on this, interesting pairing. Let's take a deep dive into the crazy world that is Shigure and Akito Soma. Shigure has always been this very ominous man that we knew had evil plans in motion. But I believe this episode highlighted his sinister side better than anything before it. I mean, look at all these evil faces. You just can't look like this unless you are just some evil Disney villain with something in the back in motion. But looks aside, we saw how evil and manipulative Shigure really is. How he loves to push people's buttons and push them to the very edge. A good example of this was during the dinner that Akito attended. Shigure was there with his editor right before the big dinner was going to happen. He was free to leave any time and make it unknown to Akito that he was ever there. But he didn't. You see, he stalled for time talking with his parents until Akito Soma arrived. He did not even try to stay out of sight. Rather, he wanted to be seen with Mitsuru. He did this knowing deliberately that this will make Akito jealous. She is possessive of all the zodiacs, and the moment she sees any male with a female, her mind races. Her pulse quickens. It'll make her mad. Shigure did all this knowing he would get to her. This is a prime example of toxic behavior. But Shigure is not the only one that is toxic. I mentioned earlier how Akito sees all the zodiac men as her possessions. How they only belong to her. The idea of belonging only to one is a foreign concept to her. She says that her having sex with Kureno is fine because she belongs to no one. Instead, they are her possessions. In her eyes, she did nothing wrong. This idea of treating these people as possessions is incredibly wrong. These are all people with feelings and emotions. When Akito betrayed Shigure's so-called trust, he wanted to retaliate. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I am saying it's understandable when looking at human emotions. In this relationship, there is no good or bad. It's honestly just bad on both sides. Now, I know this is the part that everyone wants me to get to. Yes, it is the fact that Shigure slept with not just any random person to get back at Akito, but her very own mother, for heaven's sake. I cannot begin to say how terrible this is. It's just double the misery because we know that Akito's biggest source is her mother. With how obsessive Shigure is, we know that he knows that better than anyone. He proclaims that he loves Akito so very much, but it's a very twisted love. Because the moment she betrays him, he retaliates by doing the worst thing to her that he could think of. We don't fully know Akito's background on what made her the way she is, but I can guarantee you that this cannot help towards her mental state either. If anything, this can push her further over the edge. Like, what kind of psycho thinks that this is okay? She betrayed me, so I'm going to sleep with her mom. That'll show her, ha ha ha. How does that saying go? Oh yeah, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Even if Akito betrayed Shigure's trust, he should not seek out her biggest fear in the world to tear her down. At the very end of the day, they will just constantly hurt each other in the name of love. And the last part I want to talk about is of course the makeup that occurs exactly as Shigure planned. You see, he knew that being seen with Mitsuru would make Akito jealous and want him even more. After driving her to an emotional corner, Shigure tells her that he should leave. He only said this because he knew that she is emotionally vulnerable right now. He took advantage of that to make her want him even more. When the idea of someone she cherishes so much leaving her alone at the time enters her mind, Akito panics. She reacts emotionally and kisses Shigure, causing him to go down in a fiery passion. I have to say that this is not healthy in any way, shape, or form. What Shigure is doing here is just taking advantage of a poor Akito. I never thought I would ever feel bad for Akito, but this is really just wrong. But at the very end of the day, this is just how toxic relationships go. They push each other back and forth in just polarizing directions. And this will just keep going until eventually one of them will break. Out of every relationship shown in Fruits Basket so far, this has to be one of the most twisted. I can only wait and sit on the edge of my seat to see how this relationship further develops over the course of the final season. And hey, if you want to experience it with me, then you better do yourself a favor by subscribing down below, because I talk about Fruits Basket every single week, giving my reactions, doing episode previews and reviews just like this. So what are you waiting for? You better sub right now. I'm waiting. Come on now, I'm waiting. And hey, if you really enjoyed this video, then why not consider becoming a patron? It's a place where you can see videos like these early and even support me directly. It's a win-win for both of us. So why not, huh? And speaking of patrons, shout out to my patrons who are the backbone of this channel. You guys are all so amazing and I really cannot thank you enough. And an extra special shout out to Jamie Lynn and Margaret. Thank you for your extra support. You guys rock to the moon and back. But with that, that's actually going to be all for me. BriThi, or local anime YouTuber, signing off for now. Catch you guys in the next Fruits Basket video, huh? Goodbye, and peace.